Hi, you're on the Device Channel, and today we've got the most interesting announcements, releases and rumors about PC hardware for this month. Get comfortable, and I'm getting started. A few days ago, very quietly and without any kind of announcement, a new graphics card from AMD was released, but there's a catch. It's not available in retail. It was produced in limited quantities using binned chips originally meant for the XT version, and is supplied exclusively to manufacturers of pre-built systems. Judging by the price difference compared to PCs with the 9060 XT, it's estimated somewhere around $250 to $270, which is just slightly cheaper than the 8GB XT version. The specs and benchmarks of the card have already appeared on the internet, and based on them, the card is weaker by roughly the same percentage that it is cheaper than the XT. On paper, the XT version has 2048 universal cores and 128 texture units, while the non-XT version has 1792 and 112 respectively. The memory has also been trimmed a bit, 20GB per second on the XT versus 18 on this one, but at least the overall power consumption is lower. The 9060 consumes only 132 watts, almost like the good old GTX 1060. If we look at gaming performance, the difference is roughly 13 to 14% according to the tests. And I almost forgot one small but very important detail that says a lot about how brands treat consumers. Even this card, the most budget one in AMD's lineup, runs on 16 PCI lanes and PCI Gen 5, the newest version. AMD still didn't try to save a couple of pennies by cutting it down to 8 lanes. This will allow the card to work properly even in builds with PCI Gen 4 or 3. Meanwhile, Nvidia's 5060 and 5060 Ti both run only on 8 lanes. Should we expect these cards to appear in retail separately? I don't think so. The price difference between them and the 9060 XT 8GB is too small. And where would AMD even get enough discarded XT chips if the 9060 XT itself isn't exactly a top seller right now? So I believe these cards should not be expected outside of pre-built PCs from global manufacturers. Subscribe to the channel and hit like if you're into PC hardware, and you can write any thoughts or questions about the video in the comments. I answer all of them, by the way. Intel has officially confirmed that their new Panther Lake processors, the third generation of Intel Core Ultra, will be presented to the public at CES on January 5th, 2026, just a couple of months from now. They promise Arrow Lake level performance with Lunar Lake level power efficiency, a new manufacturing node, a million improvements, all kinds of AI features, etc. Basically, they're preparing competitors for Ryzen AI. And of course, Intel claims they will have the same thing, just better. Along with that, Intel also promises a new generation of their integrated graphics cores, Xe3. Knowing what Intel's current iGPUs are like, I wouldn't get my hopes too high, although who knows, maybe this time something good will come out. As usual, the first chips will be targeted at mobile devices, and later on, desktop versions may be released. Will Intel finally launch a truly overpowered beast, or will they once again faceplant into the mud and lose a couple of teeth? We'll find out very soon. 3 new processors from AMD's Ryzen AI series, AI9 470, 465, and AI7 450, have appeared on the Bapco benchmark page. And what can we say? As tradition goes, if last year you released something awesome, this year you can relax and release something half-baked. And it looks like AMD did just that. The architecture is the same, the GPU cores are unchanged, and the CPU core configuration is also unchanged. Personally, I didn't notice any changes in the tables aside from frequency, so apparently we're looking at yet another refresh. It is expected that this new generation of processors, if we can even call it that, will begin showing up in mobile devices in Q1 2026. Colorful has rolled out new graphics cards, RTX 5060, 5070, and 5070 Ti. Nothing interesting, one might think. Who cares? There are already tons of versions of these GPUs for every taste, but this time there is actually something interesting. Hardware enthusiasts will definitely appreciate it. Not long ago, ASUS began introducing the BTF 2.0 technology in their high-end motherboards. It's an additional adapter board that goes into the motherboard parallel to the GPU in a special slot, allowing the additional power cable to be connected from underneath the motherboard instead of from the top, so the cable isn't visible. Brilliant. But if it weren't for colourful, this feature would probably have become just another short-lived gimmick that everyone would forget about in a year or two. But not everything is sunshine and roses. The extra price for such a feature is far from small. A 5060 with this technology costs at least €380, about €80 more than the official MSRP of the 5060. And I won't even get started on the higher end cards, it's even scarier there. Alright, looks like I've covered the most interesting part, so in return, I'll just ask you not to forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and it would be great if you also subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Any thoughts, suggestions, or maybe important news I might have missed, write them in the comments. And you were on the Device channel. Thanks for watching the video to the end. See you in the next one.